Okay, so in this next example, I'm gonna show you guys how to utilize parametric EQ in the effects loop of a guitar amplifier. We're going to create like a lo-fi filter, like a retro, kind of like radio transition or something like this. You hear it a ton in rock and modern metal. Usually the band will drop out, the guitar will sort of shrink down in its frequency response, and then there's impact when everybody enters back in. This is a trick that I use often. I'm very fond of this sound, but it's really challenging to do with an analog pedal rig. It's tough to get that exact frequency control that you need to build a sound like this. So I'm gonna take the same approach from the high pass, low pass filter, and we're gonna just kind of cook it a little further. And this time, instead of removing some mids, we're gonna enhance some mids and create this sort of lo-fi sound. Again, here's my rhythm guitar sound wide open. And now we're gonna shrink this down into this sort of transitional moment that'll create some impact for building a riff. So, first thing we wanna do is engage the pedal. And then again, we're gonna bring the low and the high in quite a bit. This time I'm gonna come in almost right around as high as it's going to go on the low end. And you can hear around that sort of 330 mark. We're really lean in the bottom end. Now what we want to do is we want to bring our highs down to match as well, probably somewhere around the 3-4K realm. So you can hear we've shrunk down quite a bit, again, wide open. And then if I bring in the high pass, low pass, we've come in quite a bit. So something that I'm fond of doing here is finding a mid frequency and then enhancing this with a bit of a bump to kind of just give us a little bit more character. So I'd say somewhere probably in the neighborhood of about 1K-ish. And then we're gonna take the mid gain and just give that a little bit of a boost with a moderate Q. Again, wide open. And then lo-fi filter. So this is a really challenging sound to get when you're using an amp with a bunch of pedals. EQ in front of the amplifier is definitely not going to get you there, and it's pretty rare that you find yourself with a very flexible EQ like this in the loop of your guitar amplifier. So I love to use parametric EQ this way. In fact, historically, this is how I've used my original Empress ParaEq to get this sound in an analog rig in a live environment. I need to be able to toggle to this sound really quickly, so being able to filter everything coming out of the amplifier before it hits your cabinet is a really useful tool. This is the most flexible way to do it. High pass, low pass, and a little bit of mid frequency emphasis, somewhere around 1K, and you're good to go. So that's how you do a lo-fi filter sound.